in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the KD Ratio Podcast. My name is Dylan and I'm your host for tonight, and I'm joined by
Kyle.
William.
Just Kyle.
William.
and just Kyle, and then some noise. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus, guys. What is this? You turned against me? I'm not one of us?
You sounded a little slurred
William.
in the beginning, Dylan. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
All things nerd.
I've been drinking. I have to get drunk just to be on this podcast with you guys.
To be in the same room as us.
Should
That's
we do
how
an Irish
insufferable
drinking
it is.
song?
Oh, God.
From Whose Line?
Yeah. Good luck. That would end epically bad.
There's no way we could improv that on the spot.
No,
Those guys are so talented.
that's amazing that everything they do is live on the spot. Some of the bits, they don't work, but most of them do.
Way, like, well into the majority do. And it's because of the talent of those three guys, like Ryan and Wayne Brady and who's Colin?
Ryan Stiles, Colin Mockery, Wayne Brady, and the fourth guy.
Well, whoever that sub is.
I want to
they sub
ask,
someone out.
because I always thought this, and my mom did too, whenever we watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, for those who weren't aware of what we were talking about with the improv. Drew Carey should have never, he just didn't need to join. Every time he hopped
He was
on,
a great host, but he was
he
not
was
a good
host,
improver.
but his improv sucked.
Oh, I always enjoyed. I thought he was a nice little. I enjoyed it. Sometimes, like, it was like, oh, there's that's what it means to be immortal.
Okay.
Not these guys, who knock it out of the park. But I know
the
people
show's
that
definitely missing something now with its new host, though. And,
Definitely.
it's
I
definitely
don't even
Drew
watch
Carey.
it. Yeah,
Oh, I do. It's still good. It's just the host isn't as good.
I remember just like that was one of my favorite things of like staying up late with that. Was that show that would come on, and you'd watch it and be like, oh yeah, this is so good. And I have friends that like think that whole thing was fake, that everything was rehearsed, and I'm like, you couldn't get those timings, the comedic timings, like if it was rehearsed. Otherwise, they're the most talented actors of all time.
So what? I kind of want to dive into this. What was your guys' like favorite skits versus least favorite?
I loved when Wayne Brady had to sing to the guests, like on the stool.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I loved when Colin had Ryan's hands. He couldn't use his hands, and Ryan had to use his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to like sort of do random crazy shit. I loved the Irish hoedown. That was great.
No, there's Irish drinking song and just hoedown.
Yeah.
Hoedown.
You blended
I guess.
the two. The Irish hoedown.
Where they basically do like 4 lines, right? That's the
Well,
hoedown.
so the hoedown was they had to come up with a verse on the spot. Irish drinking song was finishing the song one word at a time.
One word?
Well, not one word, but like one sentence at a time. So like,
Oh, okay.
I was once getting freaky, and then I go to the next person with my girly lane.
Okay.
And then
No,
go.
my favorite was just the standard hoedown where you could get 4 bars together, because some of those were just, oh my God, you like just go on YouTube and watch the highlights of those. They were,
some of those Irish drinking songs were gold
amazing.
too, though.
oh yeah.
Were like, I loved. There was one where like Colin always got the last word on the Irish drinking songs, and he always had the best ending to them ever. And there was one where they were talking about some guy named Joe, and he's like, sometimes I still miss him. And then he ends it with like, Joe had a nice bone. And like he said that, and everyone's looking at him like, what the fuck? And he's looking like, what did I just say? Or the hoedowns where Ryan would just roast Drew Carey was the funniest. He was like, there was one I still have in my head. He was like, I am so ugly that I'll never have a lover. I'm big and white and round. And when I go outside, the dogs run for cover. Yes. Oh, God, I fucked it up. But so I'm not even going to try it again. But like he said that. How did it go? I am so ugly, I'll never find a lover. When I leave the house, all the dogs run for cover. I'm big and wide and round, and my back is real hairy. Yep, you guessed it. My name is Drew Carey.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yes. Jesus, man. What I mean, just to come up. I mean, just the creative ability.
I knew
to
what
be
it
able to
was, and I
rip on
couldn't
that.
even do it on the spot. Can you imagine like being in that moment?
Yeah.
Like
The guys are incredible, and the things that impressed me the most were like the song ones, just because you have to. You're carrying a tune with that, and Wayne Brady is second to none on that. They had a few guest guys come and do it with him, but he always
was
came
great.
with an energy and
the
just
two
a prowess at that game.
The two best guests that they would have on was Jeff Bryan Davis and Chip Easton.
Chip is on the show now, isn't he?
No, he's not, because he was on that show Nashville for the longest time.
Oh,
He
okay.
played like a country star. Jeff Bryan Davis is on a lot of them now, but he's funny, and he actually wasn't as funny on the original Who's Line, but he got even more funny when he was on Drew Carey's Improvaganza, and then on the new Who's Line. He's super funny. He's actually
I remember this guy.
Oh, okay.
he really came into his own as he got older. Like on the original Who's Line, I don't think he was that funny, but he got funnier and funnier as he got better and better. And now he's like on the show a lot, and he's hilarious. I like him even more, I think, than some of the
He's developed
mainstays.
into his craft.
Yeah.
Man, it's just a classic show. Loved
It is.
watching that. I don't watch TV generally, like in the traditional sense like that anymore. I can't see myself ever like streaming that either,
Yeah.
which is kind of sad
You can watch
because I would
whole
really
episodes.
enjoy it. Yeah.
Like CW uploads their whole episodes to YouTube, so sometimes
Oh,
they'll just
okay.
go on there. And, yeah.
It's kind of sad because like I wouldn't buy a streaming service just for that show, even though it is really really good content.
Like, I wonder.
But you couldn't. That's a show that you could absolutely recreate on like a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
No one can do it. That's the level of entertainment. I mean, like, what's the format? They could just write things down, pull it out of a hat, and then just do it live, and have a lot of fun with it. That you can't do it.
They're coming to
That's
town.
Those guys that are so talented.
They're coming to town?
Yeah, they're gonna do a live show at our theater here in town, and Ryan Stiles will be there, Greg Proops, Jeff Bryan Davis, and like one other guy.
That'd be fun to go to a live recording.
Yeah.
Well, they don't like. It's like Who's Line Live. They don't record an episode. They just do their live show, which is just improv. Their improv show, but it's still hilarious. Like,
I thought it was gonna be like, hey, you're gonna be featured in
You're in a live
this
audience.
date. Yeah.
that actually wouldn't be as fun, because on their improv shows that they do, like when they do it at a theater, they could just do whatever they want, and they just do funny things.
Oh
and-
yeah, they get a little more daring than
and they
maybe
can do,
traditional.
like if you're on TV,
That
I
makes
guarantee
sense.
you that I mean, it's only 30-minute episodes, 20 minutes if you don't take into the account the commercials. Whereas if you go to a live show, it's like an hour and a half of stuff. So if you go to a live studio recording, it's probably honestly not as good as it would be if you just went to like, a theater to watch it. Like a traditional theater, not movie theater. Let me be
Right.
clear here.
yeah.
Do you think, like, sketch, or not sketch, because not sketch comedy, but like improv, do you think there's a place for it in the future with the type of media we have? Because we don't see much shows that are based upon improv anymore.
I
Not
think we do see it all the
shows,
time.
but-
Streamers, like if you're a streamer, you have to be entertaining. And what's the easiest way to be entertaining? Be funny.
Oh, yeah, I guess improv
so,
based
like-
off of the game or what it. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like that's the next evolution in improv, right? Is on a streaming platform where you can control the narrative of what's going on screen, and then you're entertaining people sort of live. Dr. Disrespect does it constantly. He's like in this character, and like he'll play some like Hunt Showdown or something, and he'll be like spinning a whole narrative, like, "Oh, where you at? Show yourself, you pussy." And just peek one more time for me. Like he has this whole character narrative that, it's really entertaining to watch to see him kind of, he's thinking through like what he's doing, like, "Oh, you don't scare me." And then there's like proximity chat in that game where he's like calling out to them like, "Howdy, how you doing?" And acting like a dipshit, It's funny. And I think that's probably that is the current format for success with improv.
Yeah, makes sense going to streaming. Do you think they would ever bring back like that type? I mean, it currently exists. Who's Line It Anyway is recording on CW, but do you think there would be another attempt at that on like Twitch?
They've done things like that in the past, and it's not been good.
You need those guys. You have to.
Like
you need those
they
guys.
on
Experts.
YouTube. On YouTube, they've tried to do like they've tried to stream like improv shows and stuff with
Look
like
at
famous
Smosh.
YouTubers and stuff.
Smosh
and
does a
it's-
whole improv thing.
Yeah, but it's not
not
on that
good.
level.
It's not good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You need to be extremely talented, and you can't copycat that format. I think you have to make your own adaptation.
Well, it's like I love Markiplier. Don't get me wrong, he's probably my favorite YouTuber. But like his improv shows that he would do, like with him and
Cringy.
his friends,
I never watched them.
they were not good. like I mean, it's endearing, and it's fun to watch if you're a fan. But like if you stack it up to like people that actually do improv for a living, it's really cringy. It's just not great.
It's amazing. It's amazing too to like see the communities around these people like on streamers and like Markiplier. The reason why I thought of this was he was like giving an interview, and the interviewer was like, "You made $30 million last year," something like
Yeah,
that.
Anthony Padilla.
And Markiplier was like, "It's so silly to me. Like it doesn't feel real."
He said it's too much money.
"Yeah."
He's honest about it.
Yeah.
And these other streamers like Nick Merckx is a huge one that streams. He came from Gears of War and then sort of went to Call of Duty, and now he's on Apex right now, and he's probably the king of Twitch, I would say, as of right now. I'm not that close with Twitch. I'm much more of a YouTube streamer. Like I pay much more attention to YouTube, and like Nick Merckx has started this whole program where $15,000 a month or so, he supports his viewers or like his memberships with like their pet hospital bills.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, and I think they've hit such a level of like income, like
well, and the thing with that stuff, right?
$30 million a year from Markiplier.
Yeah, and with any type of streaming too, or YouTube channel, it's a tax write-off, right?
Is it?
Any money you spend on the
Because it's your business.
it's because of your business. So like I watched these YouTubers and they're like he'll spend $500 on Fiverr or whatever, and it's like he does that because to get the tax write-off, he has $500 extra or whatever. I don't know, but it's interesting like
Yeah.
that
whole
once you
game.
reach that amount of money, you can do that stuff, and it's fine.
Yeah. It's crazy to see, like, because athletes are hitting these levels of income as well. Like we're seeing, Patrick Mahomes got a contract for $500 million. Other athletes, Mike Trout for the Los Angeles Angels, I believe is the team name. I don't follow baseball, but he got like a $500 million contract. So and they're like $30-40 million a year. And with that comes like expenses because they have to, like the top athletes in the world spend millions of dollars on their body. When you're a gamer, you're not spending millions of dollars on your body. So there's a little less than that, but like everybody's hitting this sort of echelon with, branding themselves and Markiplier is at the extreme because he's one of the largest platforms.
What
definitely
he
in the
does
space, but
is a little more warranted. Well, not that any of it's non-warranted or warranted. I'm not trying to make that argument, but what he does is a little bit more understandable with because he will put on full productions. Like he creates movies where he's hiring entire crews of like 100+ people
yeah.
to make content
That
and
he wants to make.
wants to make. So yeah, I mean, 30 million is a lot, and he recognizes that's a lot. But I have more respect for someone like that than maybe some other people I won't name that are also pulling in that or more, doing really basic stuff.
Mr. Beast is the same way. Whatever he makes from the previous video is what he puts into the next video. Like he just doesn't he doesn't hold on to this money. That's always like Squid Games when he did that whole production. I think he lost over $1 million on that video in total. Even though it had 200 million views, probably. I don't know what it's at now. But it cost him $5 million plus to make, and it only made 3.8 or 4.1 or something like that. He was talking about it on this show. And he had to take a loan, I think, out to fund the next project or something like that. He had to get creative. But it's not he just keeps keeps throwing it back into what he's doing because he just enjoys it.
He's a young guy.
He's
too.
interesting. He's so interesting guy. And say what you want about some of the cringy stuff of I'm gonna give a stranger $10,000 or oh, why are you doing that? That's just for clout, blah blah blah. Say what you want. I think overall what Mr. Beast is trying to do is to make people smile and go, that was cool. Mm-hmm. Just like any other content creator that's worth their salt. They're just trying to make somebody happy. And it's just crazy to see some of the
I don't watch.
Could you imagine you're sitting there in 2007 watching YouTube and you're going, this guy, is gonna be this is gonna be the platform that it is today. Graphically, YouTube hasn't changed at all. It's still the same thing, but it's evolved into this just
max quality used to be 480 though. So yeah, I don't watch any of I mean, I've catched his content here and there, but I have no ill will towards Mr. Beast or anything he's doing on the grind. Have you ever seen some of his earlier stuff though? He first got popular doing crazy shit. He would live stream himself. Don't stop the live stream till I count to 1 million, and he would sit there and he'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, and he would actually do that until he got to 1 million. And that would be the kind of stuff. That's why he called himself Mr. Beast, is he was always doing crazy endurance,
beast-like activities,
endurance challenges like that, which anyone can do, but do you have the patience and the willpower to do type stuff? And I bet you they're still on his channel from forever ago.
Yeah.
But that was the kind of stuff he did. Or be I don't stop streaming until what's something silly that would
I'm
be
gonna bury
incredibly
myself alive for 48 hours. He's done shit like that, or 24 hours.
That's the first one I saw of before he did any of this stuff. That's the first video I ever saw. He was like, I won't stop live streaming until I count to 1 million.
That's absolutely wild.
And he did it. He actually
what
did
a
it.
stud.
Yeah, I don't know if it was 1 million, but it was a very big number like that.
Wow.
And he went for, it was days. It felt like.
First Mr. Beast video I ever watched was he was eating the most expensive food in America or the world or something. And he ate this $78,000 pizza and it had gold on it. And it was just so ridiculous. So that was my introduction to him. And I'm like, oh, who's this guy? What is this? Is obscene, And then to see what he's sort of evolved into now with he runs a whole crew, and their production quality is insane. Markiplier, that series he does, these guys are basically running studios. I mean, everybody has the ability. I mean, we basically carry around 8K camera sensors in our pockets these days.
Yeah.
We have the ability to record.
Look at TikToks.
Insane, incredible quality.
Anybody can be a TikToker. Successful? No. But anybody could do what those people are doing. You don't need to buy a camera equipment. You just have your phone. You set it in selfie mode.
Yep. Learn to edit.
You're good.
It's just amazing.
And I believe TikTok has an editing it's already built in.
Wow.
So
I looked up his old challenge videos, and he was young. This was a while ago.
He started when he was 14 or something.
Yeah, so this one here, 6 years ago, it says counting to 10,000 in one sitting. It took him 3.5 hours. He streamed it.
That's
and
insane.
then there's this one. I counted to 100,000. The video itself is 23 hours long, and he sped it up because it originally took 40 hours.
Oh my god!
to count to 100,000. And then there's this one, saying PewDiePie 100,000 times. That took him about 12 hours.
Oh god!
And that's the kind of stuff you do. That's how he originally got his fan base. And then once he got a following, then he started doing this other stuff. So that, I mean, say what you will, but he worked for his audience.
Dude, he's always been like really. He is super dialed into. Like he's very skilled. He's a what I would call like a skilled YouTuber in terms of. I feel like he leads a lot of the trend in thumbnails, understanding the algorithm, understanding what's going to be viral, what's not. Like his brain just works so well with. This is how we need to name this. This is what we need to do to make it go to the next level. Like he's so in tuned with that whole thing. It's amazing because he's like the second most popular channel on YouTube now, or is it still PewDiePie?
No, it's T-Series, I think.
What's that?
It's like a
T-Series?
Yeah, it's like
music.
this.
Oh, well, not the music ones. Yeah, no.
Well, it's like a channel based, I think, in India where they host videos for content creators.
Oh, okay.
And they have like 224 million subscribers. PewDiePie, he's at 111 million.
And I'm pretty sure Mr. Beast is over 100 million.
Mr. Beast is 104.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
But there's a lot of random ass channels that you wouldn't think about. That are, like, up there.
WWE.
Dude, that is one of the largest like spectating like that. Anytime there's a WWE thing that trends like number one on
5-minute crafts. What a joke.
Like
wow,
Nastia?
77 million.
Those are the worst videos you've ever seen in your life. Have you ever seen those?
Is that like those tool tips or whatever?
They're not like, they're like life hacks.
Yeah.
But they're the worst. They're the absolute worst. There's no logical reason behind any of them.
Wow. 77 million people would disagree with you.
They're all children.
Yes.
It's just amazing. There's some.
Same with that, like, what is it, like Nastia or the Kids Diana show? I bet those are kids shows.
Well, yeah.
WWE though, I didn't know they had that much. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't really count the
Coco
the singing
Melon?
ones.
100? Oh my god.
Well, the secret to YouTube is like through children.
That's just people that are subscribing so they can,
Put it on for
put it
their
on
kid.
for their kids.
Wow.
Exactly. Like if you get, I guess there's most of
Oh,
the
there
YouTube
I am.
platform is kids.
There's us.
Yeah,
Number
Katie
13.
Ratio.
Oh, Katie Ratio, number 20. We didn't even know.
Wow.
57 million.
That's what happens when you're all work, no play. You
It's
passes
just
you by.
that grind mindset.
I love how there's a whole section on Wikipedia on the T-Series versus PewDiePie thing that would happen for a long time.
Wait, what?
PewDiePie was fighting T-Series to be the number one for like a long time.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you were talking about like a specific legal battle or
well, there's like
something,
a whole section on the Wikipedia
Yeah.
where they talk about it.
It's pretty incredible, man, to see like what was insane, like 1 million subscribers or something way back in the day. That was like
It was-
huge number.
That would still be a very glorious number for me. But
Didn't PewDiePie get to 50 million before anyone else got to 10 million?
no, I don't think it was that drastic.
I think it was. It was something.
No, because at one point in time, the most subscribed channel on YouTube was Smosh, and they had like 18 million at the time.
Mm-mm.
And they took over. They held that mantle for only a little bit, and then PewDiePie had that
Maybe it
meteoric
was-
rise.
I remember, maybe it was like he got to 50 million before anyone got to 25 million or something. But it was something ridiculous.
It might have been something like that, but it wasn't as drastic as 10 million versus 50, because there was already channels that were pushing like 20 before he even like got to that level.
But I mean, PewDiePie was in the perfect. I mean, YouTube was built for Minecraft, and that's all he was streaming.
That and scary games.
Yeah.
He got really popular off of Amnesia.
Same with Markiplier. That's
Yeah.
how he got popular.
Wow.
I do love scare games on YouTube though. The format works for me.
I don't really like watching Markiplier play scary games anymore. No, because I think he's so desensitized now that like he's kind of boring to watch because he's always like not very into it. You can tell he's just like playing it to play it for his audience. I much rather would watch him play his like weird, unique, like random games or watch some of his original content. Not that, I mean, I still every now and then I'll put on one of his 3 scary games because it's just funny.
He's almost to 100 episodes.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
It's a good timeline for when I bought my house because you first started doing those when I bought my house. Is
You're
when
like,
he first
if
started.
you look at the original 3 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
What are you reading?
No, I'm just reading about PewDiePie and his rise. It's just crazy to see. Yeah, it looks like Smosh was the first to 10 million, and then PewDiePie was the first to 50.
You didn't believe me.
No, I
I'm
just was
just
reading
kidding.
the first article.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't believe you.
I mean, this guy was averaging 100,000 subs a day.
Wow.
That's like a city. Oh, like
I
I want to watch this guy's content every day. But what's funny is like it doesn't necessarily translate to views. Like if you watch his if you look at his content, he's only getting like what 2-3 million on a lot of his videos. So it's kind of interesting to see like
Well,
there's content subscribers that there's content creators that I subscribe to that have like barely 10 million, barely.
and they're still
And they
getting
get
that many
like
views.
2 million every video. And then you
look at the life of a
PewDiePie.
channel, though. You know, like he's
It's-
been on it for about 10-ish years, almost 10 years. A lot of these people subscribed and forgot about it, but he's getting four.
Well,
or
don't they like
5
million. Unsubscribe you after a certain amount of years? Like they deactivate your.
If you literally click on a
account or
video
something?
once, you're active
Oh.
as a subscriber.
Well, I mean, like he gets like anywhere from 3 to 5 million, so he still gets a lot. But like, you know, for 10x the subscribers, you would think that he was just getting
He'd get crazy
20
amounts.
million every video.
Are you guys fans of PewDiePie?
No, I don't think
Same.
I've ever actually watched any of his content.
I mean, respect to him, but I'm just not a fan. I tried to watch his videos. I'm
His-
not subscribed to him.
His content's geared for children.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about anymore. Maybe it was at first, but same with Markiplier. At first,
Yeah.
it was not geared towards, but like they've matured with their audience. If you watch his stuff now, he's silly, but like, you know, it's not geared towards children. If he's like screaming "fuck" and like,
Well, I still think kids probably watch that. What do
okay, I could see that. I could see that, but I don't think that he wants it specifically towards children. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably like an evolution that you're like, okay, I'm tired of like this super high energy because you remember the PewDiePie like makeup stuff like way back in the day.
Well, like
You're like, okay, I want to mature out of this, and you know, and that audience does get older,
for
right?
that
If they're-
exact reason, though, what you're saying, that's why I didn't really like Markiplier at first, and I like him more now, is because now he's more of who he really is. Whereas when for the first like 4 or 5 years of his YouTube career, he was a persona. He was a character.
Very high energy, loud.
Yeah, and he was just, you know, and that was too much for me. I didn't like that. I didn't like any of those guys. I didn't like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier. Like, I liked Critical.
All those guys are still around.
I like Critical probably from day one. I think you and I were some of the OG viewers before he was even known. You know?
Yeah, I think we saw like it maybe one of his early breakout videos, but
yeah, because he was very like dry, monotone.
very hipster about
His fun tactics videos were only getting like 15,000 views at the time. Like he didn't really.
So Kyle, like I try to go back there and separate, like, because you can't pin it to the view count, right? Because YouTube hadn't grown. Like it was rare to see a video with 1 million views. You know what I mean?
But in comparison, like big guys at the time, like your Woody's gamertag,
they were getting quarter.
he was
million.
getting like $250,000.
Yeah,
Quarter million, $500,000.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So 15,000
Yeah.
versus that. And like who was the big guy at the time? Like C Nanners. That guy Tapes. It's sad. Have you seen his content lately?
I watched him play like Warzone or something, and I commented, what was he playing? He was playing like a Call of Duty, and I commented because he wouldn't stop talking about like his frames would go from like 160 to 140.
Yeah.
Okay, 160 frames to 140, and he was basically calling the game unplayable. And I commented in there, and I'm like, you know, you can set a frame limiter and stuff that maybe like smooth it out, but I was like, what is this? Like, and I was trying to understand it more. Like, I wasn't talking to him necessarily. I was just trying to talk with the chat. And they just like they were such like an elitist group. They're
I'll
like,
shit on you.
shut up, dude! It's like eat the max frames for max performance. It's fucking competitive gaming.
Really
Blah blah
hard.
blah. And I'm like, holy shit, guys! I'm like, it's a pub's fucking. He's playing by himself. Like he has a 1 KD right now. Like
Oh my
is
God.
all of that to blame on 20 loss? I don't know.
Speaking of the OGs, you know who has turned out just the absolute most
Chad.
horse shit? Only Use Me Blade.
Oh God, I haven't even thought about that name in so
Yeah,
long.
so he's a raging alcoholic.
Oh no.
Um,
How do you know that?
because of all people, Critical posted a video about him streaming, and I was like, because Critical posted videos like worst live streamer ever, and I was like, I'll watch this. What is this about? And then he's like, Only Use Me Blade, and I was like, what the fuck? Only Use Me
Wow.
Blade? And he was like on live stream, like he's like just passed out drunk, and they've like tried to wake him up, and he wouldn't wake up, and he's
Jeez.
like throwing up on himself.
Oh
and-
my God, on
Yeah.
stream?
and he like beats people, like his girlfriend. He'll like beat her on live stream, and then there's this video where he picks up a dog and just like throws him because he's like in his way, and he's completely just
Unhinged.
intoxicated, unhinged, lost everything. And I was like, at one point in time, this guy was like,
One of the kings.
everyone loved him. You know, he's super, and he was super happy, friendly, and you know, I don't know if it's just the alcohol that did it to him, but like. He's gonna have to get his leg amputated. Like,
Oh my
Jesus
gosh.
Christ! How did Critical must have done some serious research?
it's not that hard to find it because
Wow, what a
people
fall
have
from
like
grace.
documented his downfall. But it is the biggest fall from grace I've ever seen. At one point in time, in the height of Modern Warfare 2, this guy was really popular and fun to watch because his gameplays revolved around him only using his knife, and that was his whole gimmick.
Uh-huh.
And he would do good, but somewhere along the way, man, he lost everything.
Wow, that's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of rising and falling stars. There's one guy on Twitch right now that I guess I don't know who he is, and I haven't seen any of his content. I don't even know his name, but he went from like he started his Twitch channel in like 3 days, has like 70,000 subscribers.
Jeez.
It's like the most historic rise of all time. It's absolutely nutty.
That's my other channel.
Wow.
It's just crazy to see, like, you know, sometimes things work, like something hits and then you're able to like follow it up and keep the momentum going, and all of a sudden, boom, you rally a community around you. It's pretty wild.
Any minute now.
Any minute.
Hey man, we're things are rolling in a good direction.
Yeah,
the
they are.
numbers are looking good, so we're happy.
Absolutely. My OG guy that I used to love was Hutch, and he actually
Is he still out there?
He hasn't posted anything on his main channel in a while, but he records videos for this other channel now, where it's like a group thing. They do like movie reviews, and they have like unique segments like best movie to watch while you're high and just weird stuff like that, you know. But he definitely fell off on viewer count. You know, like towards the end, he was only pulling in like maybe 5,000 people a video. But he never had any controversy either. He always just was him. You know, he was just a guy
Jacksepticeye
that
is
liked
still
playing
killing it.
games. Jacksepticeye is killing it. He was not part of that OG group though. He was of the second wave. He wrote in like with Markiplier and all those people. And that the second wave, they dominated the first wave. When those people got popular, the original
Fell off
Kings
fast.
fell out fast.
I don't think they
because
adapted fast enough.
the content changed. Before
Right.
it was like you only made
Get a
videos.
gameplay, record audio over it.
Yeah, the only way that you could be popular was if you were good at gaming and you would literally just talk about what you were doing in the game.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I don't know who directly is attributed to. I don't think it was PewDiePie, to be honest, but it shifted. And it shifted to, let me record myself playing this, and I'm also going to have to be as funny as possible.
Yeah.
And then a lot of these people, these gifted gamers, couldn't keep up because they just weren't funny people. You know, they could talk about all day about how the winning strategy, but they couldn't make a joke about it.
It's kind of funny, like, to think back to the content that we did watch. Like, was it even enjoyable? Like, they just had like a 30 bomb, you know, game or something like that. And you know, they're in there, to the face, you know, like headshots, and Like,
What up,
oh, okay, I'm
team
running
here?
one man army here, and I noob blast this corner, noob tube blast this corner here, and ooh, double kill, and it's like what?
But
Woody's gamer tag all had a different take on it, where he would like just go into story mode.
yeah,
He would just not even give a shit about what was going. It was like his way to reach people, which kind of makes still in line with sense with what he does today, which he has his own podcast. I think it's political.
I
but-
think more in that time, more so than ever, is you kind of watch gaming videos to learn how to get better at that game. Though you weren't really watching to be entertained.
that's true.
And then it slowly
What's the
became
tactics? Yeah.
it slowly became more about just trying to be entertained. But
Yeah, I look at my old liked videos and I'm like, what is this?
Dude.
Like I used to watch the AMVs, animated music videos
oh yeah,
with Linkin Park.
Oh no.
Oh, I was into those for a tiny section. I remember. Felt so cool.
I used to watch those too. I used to watch AMVs, like shows that I like too. They would make like music videos about different animes I was into at the time, or
Dude, it was like that's so. I'm just sitting here reflecting, like that content swing was so fast to happen from like the old school gameplay, record over it, to what it became like around Modern Warfare 3.
Let's Plays.
yeah.
Totally different. Let's Plays, like Jesus, was Markiplier the one that invented that? Wasn't there a whole Let's Play channel? Like,
It wasn't Markiplier that invented it, but him and like a few others were like the OGs of really making that popular.
Mm-hmm. We're looking up who invented Let's Plays. Michael Sawyer.
who the heck is this?
Slowbee.
Something awful for him. User Michael Sawyer under his username Slow Beef.
I don't know what I'm even reading. Anyway,
0 AD was the first game, I guess, ever live streamed.
And it came out in 0 AD. So,
maybe PewDiePie actually was a pioneer of that too. I would put him in that category, like pioneering that.
You know who is
pushing
also
it to a next level?
You know who brought that? Who made that pretty popular though too for a while?
Who?
Was Tobuscus.
Ooh, he had that whole gaming channel.
Yeah, he had a whole gaming one. And he did Let's Plays of silly games.
God, YouTube was so different then.
It was back when it was not
was,
as
like,
corporate and it was very
Mhm.
like user
There's like
created.
10 guys.
Yeah. Did you hear about like the
running it.
recent drama with YouTube? And
With YouTube.
Well, I heard
Markiplier was-
Markiplier's.
What happened?
That whole thing.
so there's this game that came out. Really great game. I enjoyed watching it. Mortuary Assistant.
Mhm.
It was awesome. It's a scare game and it like changes. It has multiple scares that are randomly placed there. So like every playthrough, you're gonna see different scary stuff. But Markiplier played it, and I mean multiple big YouTubers played it, like Jacksepticeye and all them. He played it totally fine, no age restriction, nothing. This one YouTuber,
Big guy, by the way. He has like 10 million subs.
yeah, he's big. He plays it. It gets copyright striked. Now, the main thing is that this is race related, is what the guy was bringing up the question of. He didn't want to blame YouTube, but he said it's very weird that this happened because he plays Mortuary Assistant. It gets flagged for age restriction, right? So he challenges it. He says, I don't think, this is like, maybe it's just a mistake on the system side. They deny his claim, say, no, it is. He then reaches out to he has a YouTube advisor. He's that big to where he has an agent. Reaches out, says, hey, what's the issue? Why, like, if you look at Markiplier, look at my video, we have the same exact moment. And, like, they came up with the specific time that deals with trauma, and he was able to find that exact same specific time in Markiplier's video, and he, like, brought it to the YouTube people, and then they removed the age restriction on his video. They back cycled, and he's like, no, that's not right. And then what they did is the age restricted the Markiplier's video.
Yeah.
Wait, what? So they double flipped?
They double flipped.
What?
And then on
And-
top of that, so Markiplier after this, he's on that one guy's side.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And this isn't the first time that Markiplier's kind of stood up to YouTube. This happened like a year ago. Same thing happened to Critical. He got age restricted on something, and it turned into a big thing, and they were able to win. But then Markiplier uploaded a video poking fun at it, where he played an adult-only game, where he was like called Orc Massage, where he was massaging like these nude females.
Yeah, it's like a porn game.
Yeah, it's like a porn game. And he called it the Try Not to Get Age Restricted Challenge. And you're seeing how long he could play it before it got age restricted.
Oh, God.
And YouTube responds, Markiplier was a part of this Game On segment where they had all these collaborators to be on a live stream. Markiplier was slated to have like 10, 15 minutes in the live stream to do his thing. He created content for it. He brought people in. And YouTube responds by completely eliminating his section. Markiplier's section from the Game On segment.
But they still
God, that's
advertise with
they
him
still
in it.
advertise with Markiplier
they
at
use
the
his
forefront.
clout.
At the
Yep.
forefront, they were like showing him as a part of it, and he wasn't even in the fucking live stream because they took it out because they were mad at him, but they were using him to get views.
God, that's so gross.
Right?
That's the problem, though, dude, is like, yeah, Markiplier is powerful, but YouTube's still way more powerful, right?
Mhm.
And if they just delete Markiplier, his audience gets crushed. Like, he has to make adjustments. I'm
have
not
to be
saying he
careful.
won't find success somewhere else, but where does he go? What's the alternative to YouTube?
Yeah.
It ain't Twitch. YouTube is a whole totally different video on demand service. Like, YouTube can do everything Twitch can do. Twitch can't do everything YouTube can do, you know?
They've actually
So
talked
where do you
to him
go?
about it. He's actually been confronted, like, what do you do if you don't have YouTube? And he's actually said, like, I've set myself up plenty nice to be okay if it all ends tomorrow.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm definitely not worried about Markiplier. Like, I'm sure he wouldn't want to just throw in the towel and call it a life. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
he would want to go and probably continue to create somewhere. Where do you go? There is no substitute. So YouTube can play a lot of these power dynamics.
he's already shown that he can get to 1 million subs in 24 hours. He could easily just create a new channel.
Yeah.
And because he did that.
He got how many subs?
On Unis Honest, it was the sub challenge. They created one of their segments is that they created a YouTube channel with the intention of seeing if they can get to 1 million subs in under 24 hours.
I'm sure he blew through that.
And they got it. And then once they got it, he just deleted the channel. Like, can you imagine having that much power? Like,
Did it even have a video on it? Like even a single video?
I think it did.
Did it have a video?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think it was like, it's fading. But I think there was a video that like was specific for that channel.
And then I'm gonna delete this with the channel, and so it was like, you're only watching this with your your beautiful eyes right now. You'll never get to see it again.
That
It's
was
just
such a
wild.
weird year with Unis Honest.
It was, but it was a good year.
Do you want an Unis Honest too?
You know what? I don't want Unis Honest too, but I do want them to work together more.
They've kind of come back a little bit.
Did you watch the
They did the on Ethan's channel where they poured
The glue?
all over him.
I want them to do more of that because I think they have really good chemistry. I wish I could get into Crank Gameplays, Ethan's channel. I just don't like him by himself.
Yeah.
I love him when he's with Markiplier because I think
He seems like he's had some struggles though as
Yeah.
well, like with his emotional health and his mental health.
Mhm.
It's amazing how like you can love a personality, but only when married with another.
well, I think it's
Yeah.
because
There's streamers that I'm like that.
yeah, they have a very good dynamic of they bring out certain parts of each other because
Yeah.
Ethan is like spastic and Mark like when he's by himself he's more spastic, but when he's with Ethan he takes like
He's
the
like
straight man.
The annoyed older brother.
Yeah, and I find it hilarious because Ethan is just crazy in those videos, whereas his normal videos he's more. It seems like he's trying to pretend, and it seems like the ones with Markiplier he's more just being himself and silly.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I feel that way about Bob. He is the funniest fucking guy, like ever to me. I find everything he says hilarious, but when I try and watch his videos from his channel, I just don't get the same vibes. And I don't know if it's something about Markiplier's editor, like maybe Lixian.
Lixian's great.
Is like, I think Lixian is doing something, but Bob is so fucking funny on Markiplier's videos. But then if you watch that same video from Bob's perspective, it loses a lot of its oomph. So there's something to be said about having a damn good editor. And Lixian is, for context, Lixian is Markiplier's editor, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
Good editing is everything. But there's streamers out there that like I love when they do like collabs with other streamers, but I can't get into their own stream. Like, because they're just boring, or they're, like they're not bringing the same energy. The dynamic isn't there.
I mean, that's exact same here. Like even Jacksepticeye, I like him when he's with Mark, but when he's by himself, he's more digestible than Ethan, but it's still rough.
Jacksepticeye is at times a little too spastic for me.
Yeah. Top of the morning.
Top of the morning. That was like a dying.
Speaking of
Top of the morning.
Oh, God.
Dying. Speaking of Jax, you guys ever heard of Jack Frags?
Oh yeah,
I
love it. I love his
Jack
content too,
Frags.
especially like around Battlefield. Like he does a really good job covering.
He
that
was
game.
an OG Battlefield 3 content creator.
I remember.
Way a long time ago, and he's still going pretty strong.
Yeah, it's fun. I like his voice a lot. In fact, it's actually, what's weird is like when creators stop.
Right?
There was a podcast that I listened to. It was a daily gaming podcast, and he stopped earlier this year, and it was just kind of like, it was sad because it was like 5 minutes. You could just kind of tune in real easily. And I just loved his voice, and I loved the way he, brought up content. And I'm like, there's really no replacement for this. Like, I can't. He did such a great job of like not droning on and giving his opinions like too much about certain things. It was just like, hey, this game's coming out with this expansion, and it comes out this date, and and they roll, and it was just like an enjoyable, fast paced thing. And then now, like, I don't know where to go for that stuff, like news feeds. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sad when you sort of grow attached or accustomed to this being in your life, and then it's like no longer there. It hits harder than like TV shows for some reason.
All Unisonus is.
That was their whole
Just
Yeah,
thing.
that was their whole thing, is being there and then not,
Saying
and
goodbye.
that was, I have to admit, that was a
Did
I
you
was
cry?
there for every video. I didn't cry. I did feel sad because
Was it what? It was a channel for 1 year?
1 year, a video a day, and it was quarantine, so we had a lot of time at home doing nothing, and I would watch them every day. So it was almost like having friends, you'd see every day, and then all of a sudden it was like,
Taken.
fine. And then I don't know, the way they did it, they touched on it in the video, Markiplier and Ethan, about how like when they finished Unis Honest and they cut the stream and deleted the channel, they had like an after party, said goodbye. Every viewer, it was just silence.
Didn't have that.
Right? It was just,
It literally ended right there.
Yeah.
As soon as it hit the countdown, it didn't hesitate. It was just, this content is no longer available. This channel no longer exists. And it was just weird. And you knew it was happening because they talked it up for a year.
yeah.
They're going to do
Where was
that.
the countdown at? On YouTube?
They
live
live
streamed
streamed
it.
the last 12 hours or 24 hours.
It was like the last 12 hours.
Yeah.
And during that 12 hours, they were just reminiscing about videos they created, and they're rewatching ones that maybe they forgot because they did so much that they're like, oh, I forgot we even did a video on that. And like,
And did they deleted all the content, so it's not, you can't
all
even
of it.
rewatch
That's
it?
the whole thing of it.
You can't even rewatch it, huh?
People have,
I'm sure. And then
You know,
knowing that, they
yeah.
just archived everything.
they archived it, but that's against.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not
yeah.
the same. And they haven't archived everything. There is, a good probably 500 hours of content. Maybe not that much.
So does
Videos weren't
Markiplier-
that long,
Does
but
Markiplier basically only focus on scary
no.
stuff now? I mean, all this
He
recent stuff is all spooky.
well, he uses. I think for him, he uses a
Well,
lot
like,
of.
a lot of those games he plays with other people aren't scary games. They're just like survival games and stuff.
Yeah. Like Mavis Beacon teaches typing. He just played a typing
Lawn
game.
mowing simulator with dinosaurs.
Smash or Pass Pokemon.
You guys watch all this stuff?
Not
Yes.
all of it, but I watch a good amount of it for sure.
I watch most of it. But I think the main thing with him is he uses those like scary games as kind of in between his bigger projects. Like it's just stuff he can do,
Yeah.
content to provide. Where he saves his creativity is for the big things like in space or heist.
But that resonates with like it's you grow attached to these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like you trick yourself into thinking you're friends with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to take a step back and like, I'm sure they're great people, but they're not your friend.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that line gets blurred, and so like you do grow attached. And so if they don't say goodbye to you, even though they never met you, you never talk to them, it still hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
If they just stop uploading. It's like a friend. It's like if one of us just randomly disappeared from each other's lives and never talked to each other again.
It's like somebody dying.
Yeah.
Well, we promise to never do that to you all. We will say goodbye.
This is the last
Yeah.
episode ever.
No, stop.
Good transition. So anyways,
This is it.
Boy, that'd be some shit after all the money we spent on the
I
mics
know.
and everything. Getting the whole
We just
room
set up the streaming.
Let's
cave.
wrap it up, folks.
Yeah.
Thanks for painting my house. See you later.
Use that as an excuse to get us to
labor.
paint your room. And they keep all of our memorabilia.
Yeah, you're not allowed to take your stuff home.
get out of my house or I'm calling the police.
No.
Yeah, I could just lock the door and never let you back.
It's
That's
not
funny.
sad that you left. It's sad that you never said goodbye.
That's right. Man, video games. It's amazing to see all of the implications of it. I would say, there's a lot of like adaptations of film and stuff like that, and it's talked about, but you don't see like a video game comes out and
Mhm.
there is thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or even millions of hours of content created online around that.
Yeah.
You don't see that about a movie, right? Like you see maybe someone giving it a review,
Yeah.
but that's it. With a game, it sort of lives on in its own like little sub pocket of the internet. Like a forum's created.
You don't have like
and
movies.
it's alive.
People try to do the reactions and some people like it. I don't understand that. But video game reactions, there's something different about those because I think of the ability for it to be different, right? If
Yeah.
somebody watching a movie,
It's
the
a
same
linear
movie,
experience.
I can go watch
It's a one-way
it. Yeah.
interaction.
Whereas I'm watching them play a video game to see how they play the video game. Albeit I do get frustrated with certain times when I'm like, oh my God, you go right there. You just go right there and then you have to watch them. Oh, I don't know where to go.
I like movie reactions, but I have very specific criteria they have to meet for me to like it. One, it can't be just raw reaction. It had like where they watch it and then they're done. And two, they have to have interesting content after it. So if I really liked a movie, I'm all for watching a channel, watch that same movie and see what they, it's the same thing as like showing your friends a video you like and you want to see if they like it too, that kind of thing. But I specifically like the reactions where afterwards they'll have like a 40-minute talking segment on basically they'll turn it into a podcast.
I like discussions. Yes.
Yeah, like discussion-based reactions is different than just raw reaction and then it was a good movie. All right, see you next time.
Yeah.
And they move on. Because then at that point, then it just turns into what we're doing now. It's just a podcast basically on what they thought about everything, what their hopes and dreams are for the next section of said content.
Yeah, but I think to my point, the content that comes from a video game, it
So much
always
more.
has a chance to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You
I
know?
wasn't saying that. I was just saying
I wasn't saying that,
yeah.
yeah. But like it has a chance. It's just always alive. Like even this game that I'm playing, it's 15 years old, Guild Wars 1. it's alive. Like there's a community that is involved in it and creating new content and showcasing different things and abilities, and it's just amazing. Like the impact of it more than a film, you know? And there's just something that's so lasting because we, even in the earliest days of YouTube, gaming content was the thing. And here we are 15 years later of YouTube's, you know, however old YouTube is, 2007 or whatever, so 15 years. You know, gaming is still king dick on that platform.
Yeah.
You know, it's still
that
there.
and 5-minute crafts.
And baby videos.
Coco Melon.
YouTube Shorts. TikTok of YouTube.
Shorts.
No, it's just crazy to see. Like, I don't know, man. Gaming is such a special thing. It's so diverse. I don't know. There's something. It's got a winning formula. It just does, and I hope to see continued improvement in the gaming industry.
I'm sure it will.
Better.
Or get worse and worse.
Yeah.
I want to see it trend really hard one direction, either great or terrible,
Or totally crash.
Crash in the ground.
I don't want any middle of the road stuff here.
I definitely think the future of streaming gaming, I mean, the future is very interesting for technology in general for us right now because we're seeing a battle between creativity and money. And if I personally feel like what I've seen is that line is constantly being pulled back and forth, and it seems like money is more winning.
Every time they go just a little too far, though, there's a huge revolt, and then they backpedal. And they bring it back to where it should be.
Because then a game like Elden Ring slaps them in the face, and they go, "Oh, well, we can still have success with this."
Like, oh, you could still make money on just good games?
What? No.
Who would have thought?
But then Elden Ring is a little too far in that one direction where it's like they don't give a fuck what fans think. Like they're gonna make their game, right? Like they don't have a PvP mode. They're like fucking figure it out, deal with it. You know, it's like they're gonna stick to their core principles. So it's a little bit of both, you know. And there's opportunity for, you know, people to create their own. That's why, like, you know, I'm excited for Lords of the Fallen. That game looks so sick.
It does. I'm a little worried because I didn't hate the first Lords of the Fallen, but it definitely felt like Dark Souls, but just not as good. And so we'll see what happens, but it does look pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up on an hour, Dylan. Where can people find us?
They can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and we do have a TikTok profile. I don't think we've still uploaded anything
we
yet.
need to put some work into that, but don't bother looking us up on TikTok right now.
No. But you can find us under the Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram under Katie Ratio Podcast, where we post updates, memes, any thoughts or ideas we have, and then also when we're live streaming, which we just finished our second episode.
What are your guys' thoughts? I enjoy doing that segment.
I enjoy it a lot.
I feel like we're a lot more ourselves on the podcast. So
on the podcast,
than on the live stream.
Oh,
so I think that's something that, not that, you know, we need to talk about this on the podcast, but that is something that I think that we'll grow into.
Yeah.
But either way, please tune into our live streams because it's a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun being able to interact with, you know, people live, kind of have a conversation rather than just us three trapped in a bubble.
Right.
In isolation.
That's what leads to intense, heated battles, is because there's no mediators, aka an audience.
We're basically a boy band, one argument away from breaking up. So
the real question is who's going to be the Justin Timberlake and move on
and be successful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you on the next video. Remember, with a good KD, you get the dub.
Bye, guys.